Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of What's Next in Compliance. I'm your host, Matt Kelley, and today we're going to talk about trust. Corporate America has a big problem with trust and the lack thereof. We're going to explore why that might be and how ethics and compliance officers can help improve trust within an organization. First, some numbers. According to the Edelman Trust Report, which is a large, long-term, well-respected survey on these matters, trust in organizations is declining all over the world. Trust in businesses specifically fell from 53% 1 year ago to 52% today, so overall businesses still qualify as trustworthy, but just barely. And in 13 of 28 countries surveyed, trust in businesses did tumble below 50% into the distrusted category. So second is a point from PwC's annual CEO survey, which came out earlier this year. That report raised the idea of organizational trust and the idea that businesses able to generate organizational trust will be better positioned to succeed in our very skeptical, untrusting world. There's a lot of sense in that idea. And as the Edelman report shows, companies aren't doing a good job at generating that trust right now. So what's going on? A lot of it has to do with new levels of transparency and communication in our digital age. As more stakeholders can see more of what a company does, those groups, employees, customers, business partners, the public, they can form opinions about what a company's motives and values are more quickly, regardless of how accurate or inaccurate those opinions might be. Consider what that means. If stakeholders can perceive a company's motives more easily and decide that they dislike those motives, trust falls. If a company's motives are something that those groups do like, trust grows. So really, this is about trustworthiness, which we could define as a company's ability to demonstrate that its actions are reliable and motivated by values a stakeholder group will agree with. So the PwC report says trustworthiness is crucial to preserving your company's business advantage. Good. The Edelman report says companies are losing trustworthiness rather than creating it. Bad. Therefore, if a company wants to maintain its competitive advantage, it has to do a better job of demonstrating that its actions are reliable and based on values that stakeholder groups will accept. Now, this is a job tailor-made for the corporate ethics and compliance officer. So what should compliance officers be doing with this information? I have two ideas. First, try to measure the weak spots in trust. For example, do surveys of employees' faith in management or customers' faith in your brand. Try to identify the business practices that help or harm those different stakeholder groups' perceptions of the company. It might be in customer service, it might be in sales negotiations or adequate compensation or training. But if you can identify those practices and measure the prevalence of them, you can correct them, and that gets you closer to improving trustworthiness. Second idea is to talk about organizational trust, reputational risk, and corporate culture. Talk about them all together because they really are different ways of expressing the same thing. The importance of people believing that the company will live up to what it promises to do. If people don't trust your organization, if they assume your actions are not trustworthy, that means your reputation isn't strong and it's at higher risk of damage even from small mistakes. So the board or the CEO or the executive team, when they're talking about reputation risk, draw that connection to corporate values and company trustworthiness. Remind them that the stronger a company's culture is, and the more articulate the company is about its corporate values and priorities, the more trustworthy the company will be, and the more resilient the brand will be when mistakes or misconduct happen, because people will know that as a whole, the organization can be trusted, and that is the state of affairs that the board and the CEO ultimately would like to achieve. That's all for this episode of What's Next in Compliance. I'm your host, Matt Kelley. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you again next time.